Tomorrow morning, I open my banking app and see $0. Not low, not almost, zero. If you earn a low or middle income and already feel trapped, you know how fast that number can turn into panic. The rent clock is ticking, the phone is buzzing, and the fridge is making that quiet, empty sound. So what do you do in the first 72 hours when your money life resets to nothing? A lot of people live close enough to the edge that a single $400 surprise can start a chain reaction. That reality isn't a character flaw, it's math under pressure. And if we want a real broke reset, we need a plan that works when the numbers are tight and the nerves are loud. This is WealthMentorPro, where every lesson is a step closer to your freedom. Today, we're doing a full broke reset from $0. Not a fantasy comeback, a calm roadmap for the first day, the first week, and the first month. You'll get clear priorities, simple rules, and a way to protect your next paycheck. Because the question isn't whether you're disciplined enough, it's whether your next steps are in the right order. And one step is going to surprise you. I know this topic can feel both obvious and impossible at the same time. When you wake up broke, you're not lazy, you're navigating without a map. The biggest gap in most starting from zero advice is the order of operations. It often leaps to big income dreams or early investing. But when you're at zero, the first win is not growth, it's stopping the bleed. So here's the first move. List your next 14 days of essentials: housing, utilities, food, and transport to work. Write the exact dates and minimum amounts. If your rent is $1,050 due on the 1st, say it. If your power bill is $120 due next Tuesday, say it. If your bus pass is $60 by Friday, add it too. This turns a fog of panic into a simple route. Do this today. Open a notes app and write 3 columns: due date, amount, consequence. The stakes are real. When we ignore the calendar, late fees, overdrafts, and service shutoffs turn zero into negative fast. This list becomes your 72-hour plan, and it leads to the question most people feel in their chest. Where does the first $100 come from when there isn't a spare $100 anywhere? Next, we talk about protection. In navigation terms, you don't plan a long drive without a seatbelt. Your first buffer is that seatbelt. It won't make you rich. It keeps you from getting crushed by the next pothole. We're not talking about 3 months of expenses yet. We're talking about levels. Level 1 is $50 to $100. Level 2 is $300 to $500. Level 3 is 1 month of essentials. These are not motivational numbers. They are practical shock absorbers. Here's a simple example. You earn $2,200 a month. Rent is $1,050. Utilities and phone add $220. Groceries average $280. Before transport and debt, the air in your budget is thin. If you can move $10 a week into a separate pocket, that's $40 a month. If you can do $25 a week, that's $100 in 4 weeks. It sounds small, but small money in the right place changes the whole month. Do this today. Set a tiny automatic transfer. Even $1 a day counts. The stakes are quiet but brutal. Without a starter buffer, every surprise becomes high-interest debt. And that brings up the next tough question. Should we attack debt first or build the buffer first? Now we get practical. Debt is not one mountain. It's a set of routes with different tolls. The myth is that you must choose only one mission: save nothing until you're debt-free, or pay nothing until you have a perfect emergency fund. Real life doesn't work like that. Start with minimums on everything. Then build a tiny buffer to $100 or $200. Then pick one high-interest balance to push down. If you're staring at a $1,200 credit card balance and you can spare $40 a month, that's not failure. That's a starting number. If your minimum is $35 and you add just $10 more, you're still moving forward. Do this today. Call one company and ask about a hardship plan or a lower rate. It's not fun, but neither is paying a penalty because you were too stressed to open the email. The stakes are simple. Silence often costs more than the call. And once the bleeding slows, we can finally ask a calmer question. How do we turn this into a stable 30-day reset? Here's the twist most people miss. The broke reset is not mainly about personality, it's about sequence. The right order makes average effort feel powerful. The wrong order makes heroic effort feel pointless. Quick pause. What would your first $100 go toward if you were starting from zero? You can answer in one sentence. Rent, food, debt, peace of mind. Now let's lock in 3 rules. Rule 1. Protect the floor before you build the ceiling. This is how you stop money panic. Your first paycheck after $0 should cover the 4 essentials and 1 tiny buffer line item, even if that buffer is $25. For example, if you bring home $1,800 a month, you might set aside $50 across 2 paychecks. That small decision prevents bigger damage later. It also gives you something priceless: a little sleep. The goal is not to feel rich, it's to feel steady enough to think. Rule 2. Build a starter buffer while paying minimums. This is the bridge between survival and progress. Once you hit $100 to $200, you're less likely to add new debt when a tire, a prescription, or a school cost shows up. If you can save $50 a week, you can reach $200 in a month. If you can only save $10 a week, that's still $40 of future stress you don't have to borrow. This is where we stop punishing ourselves for the size of the step. A small step that repeats beats a big step that breaks you. Rule 3. Raise income by 1 notch, not 10. A broke reset needs a cash flow repair plan that doesn't demand a new personality. Look for the simplest 100 to 200 monthly upgrade. Extra hours, a short weekend gig, selling unused items, negotiating a phone plan. If you add $150 a month and keep your spending steady, that's $1,800 a year. That is not a headline. It is a life shifter at this income level. And yes, sometimes the most profitable thing you do this week is a boring email to your service provider. We started with a $0 screen, so here's the payoff. The first $100 rarely comes from one dramatic move. It comes from 5 small wins stacked in the right order: a waived late fee, a subscription you forgot existed. Some of us are still paying for an app we stopped using 2 phones ago. A payment date moved by 2 weeks. A $30 sale of something you don't use. A $10 transfer that happens without you thinking. Try this 1-minute ritual every payday. Pause. Check your next 2 weeks of essentials. Send a tiny amount to your buffer first. Then pay minimums. Then choose 1 small extra payment or 1 small income move. It's a simple loop you can repeat when life is messy. If you ever wake up to $0 again, the plan is already there. Map the next 14 days. Buckle the first $100. Protect the floor. And build calm with boring, repeatable steps. This is Wealth Mentor Pro. You don't need a miracle to reset. You need the right order and the next small step. If this helped you feel a little more steady, you can like the video and subscribe for more calm money guidance. And if you want to keep going while this is fresh, the next suggested video is a good place to continue building that momentum.